Hello there, Taurus. My name's Frankie, and I'm coming to you from spirits-healing-readings.com, and I'm a clairvoyant, clairaudient, medium, and an empath. I've been doing readings for 27 years or more now. I'm thinking it's probably more here, but this is going to be for Taurus for the month of September 2016. And what I've done for you here is I've laid 4 cards, and I'm going to use the bottom card on the deck for an overall view of the month. Then we'll pull an angel card at the end of the reading to clarify things. And what I forgot to say in the last video was if this doesn't resonate with you, you might want to look up your moon sign and your rising sign, because it kind of gives you a better overall view of the month. And I'm an empath, so when I say I mean we're all Taurus out there right now, including me. And I'm not an astrologer, so I looked this up for you, and the emphasis for September is in your 5th house, and I believe that was like your artistic creativity, romantic pursuits. That sounds like it's a good thing. Entertainment, activities, interests with your children. I think it also is like group affiliations, like social circles that, like the Bridge Club, social circle, kind of sewing club, or things that you belong to like that. I guess that goes along with artistic creativity. But anyhow, they've given me a couple words for the month before we start, and they are creativity is the one word, which kind of goes right along with this, communication and integrity. And if I hold in these things, and it's a very strong word, it's like obedient to them, it brings me a lot of happiness and joy. But because it looks like it's going to be a little bit crazy here, so I think they're asking us to kind of create a way for self-expression. The first card that we have here on the bottom of the deck for the overall view of the month is the 2 of Wands. I don't know, can you see that? Probably not, because I can't see it. But anyhow, the 2 of Wands reminds me of a person looking out in the ocean waiting for their ship to come in. But when you touch this card or you think about this card, yeah, they've sent it out to sea and they're waiting for their ship to come in, but I always think there's some type of surprise with this. And, depending on what kind of surprise, it could be good or bad. And if the card's upright, I don't think anything's bad as long as we're prepared for it and prepared appropriately for it. So let's say if this card was upright, perhaps we were going to start a new business and we sent out the seeds and we applied for a bank loan, and maybe one of our partners dropped out, just for an example. We had 3 partners and one decided they're not going to put the money in, and the bank loan didn't quite come through, and we have to redo it again. But in this case, the card is upside down, it's in reverse, so we still have the element of surprise as long as we're prepared for the surprise. This is kind of where that creativity really starts to come in, because we must be prepared for whatever element is coming in. Because with this card, this 2 of Wands in reverse, we have definitely already made up our mind about the course we are moving forward towards. So it means that whether we've told anyone about this, or we have or haven't told anyone about this, our decision and choice has been made, or we are making it. Now, the other thing I didn't say in the other reading, and I forgot, Actually, I don't know where my brain is today. But I forgot to say that these cards I don't believe are going to go week by week. I don't think that's the way it works for me, Frankie particularly. I think they're going to blend in and out through the month. So the next card that we have here is the Seven of Cups. And I always think of this as a very excellent card because it's a card of choice. And I always feel that if this is some type of thing that we have to stand in our integrity with, right, and we're being given all of these choices, it's a matter of we've made up our mind pretty clearly. So no one's going to kind of tell us, so we got to get some optimism going here for the goal for our future, because our mind seems to be really made up with these cards here, and there's something in each one of these cards. We got a snake in one card. I'm not choosing that snake unless we're choosing transformation, because snakes shed their skin, right? We got one with a little pipe dream coming out of their little head, and we have one with a ugly little dragon sticking out of there, sticking his tongue out, one with a wreath where we can be crowned the victor. Hey, that sounds pretty good. The more I look at this card, here's one with a bunch of jewels. I do like jewelry. There you go. And we got one with a big old castle coming out, and one that says surprise, surprise. So I think surprise, surprise may be coming with our Two of Wands here. So we want to keep it a good surprise. So let's put something good in that middle card there with this Seven of Cups, and when we whip that off, it's the surprise we truly want, right? Because we're going to keep this creativity going. We're going to find an outlet for this self-expression, and a good outlet for it, because this is in reverse. So if we made up our minds about something, we want to make sure it brings us joy, right? Top priority is what is going to bring us joy in our house. And this is, well, it actually has to do with other people too, because it's our children and social circles too. So we want to, nobody wants to be an idiot. Maybe it's, and treat people badly. So we want to have that communication thing going, because the next card we have is the Six of Swords. And that's an excellent card because it means that we've been going through some very troubling circumstances in our life. Now, this is a general reading, so each one of us could be having a different circumstance in our life that we have went through it, we have moved through it, we're on the other side, because when this card is upright, it shows choppy waters, if we can see them over here, and then on the other side, smooth waters. Also, I always think we're taking someone else with us in this card. We got someone rowing our boat, and I think we're turning our backs on the past or the worst part of this, and there's a younger person in there with us too. So who are we taking actually with us on this journey, or during this transition? Because I think we're going to do very best if we take a different viewpoint about what's going on or what we want to create, because we're all different Tauruses out there. So, being as we have all of these cups, I don't think I'd be wanting to, and cups are emotions too. They are, there are emotions around things. So I would want to make sure that my emotion was being given towards my joy, right? So if I'm going to expend emotion or finances or anything if I'm going to spend this commodity that's mine, I want to bring myself pleasure or pleasure to others when I'm in it. So I'm going to make sure I have it first, that I have enough emotion, that I have enough money to do the things I'm doing, because I don't want to depend on others this month. There's a reasoning behind this that we don't quite understand as of yet, but I don't want to depend on others. I want to stay in my integrity. I want to communicate clearly, because this card is in reverse. So these decisions or choices that I'm going to make are probably going to clearly affect other people also. So if it was upright, I'd be moving away from the troubled waters, but with it like that, I kind of feel like stagnated, like there's other situations or issues that are holding me in place. So I kind of want to strengthen the family ties or situations that are around me that can support me for this month. Do I feel that they are supportive of me? Do they add to my creativity? Or am I, with this in reverse, am I not communicating clearly to those in my interpersonal relationships what I want to do, even if I've made up my mind to this? Sometimes we're in circumstances, if you think about it, where we can't clearly communicate yet. Because what I keep seeing in front of me is like a blank card that's telling me perhaps I've tried to communicate as clearly as I can, and perhaps others aren't hearing me or listening to me as clearly as I am communicating it. And you know, sometimes when we do this in this way, things fall on deaf ears and we wonder why they didn't hear us. So I think we really are in a position now where we have to think about our communication, or how we're going to put it forth, and what is the right thing for us. Because definitely, and I'm saying this because of other cards that are here, we don't want to put ourselves in a position where where there can be lies or deception. So if we're looking at this clearly, right, we don't want to be the one that's deceiving, nor do we want to be deceived. Now, I don't know why Spirit's telling me to say this to us in this way, but they are saying it, and it has a great deal to do with this card. You know, and like I said, normally it's moving past an issue, but it's in reverse, so we are still moving past the issue. We don't want to bring those troubled waters to us, you know. And like they said, sometimes it's not time quite to speak. So sometimes when it's not time for me to speak, perhaps it's time for me to listen and hear. And next card we have is the Death card. And no, don't panic. Nobody's dying and kicking the bucket here, so none of us gotta run, you know, or start digging holes right away. The Death card, right side up, is transformation. It's time that something needs to transform in our lives, and we know what it is. Even though we got all these options on the table, we know what this transformation is. They've been saying that since the beginning. What's going to bring me joy? What's going to hold me in my integrity? And in this case, this card is in reverse. The Death card is in reverse. So what is it that I'm not wanting to transform? When the Death card's in reverse, we know clearly what needs to be communicated. We know clearly in our lives what needs to transform. So We don't want to do anything too quickly because they're telling us, get clear because something's changing. So we don't want to do it too quickly. And with this death card in reverse, it usually means we just really don't want to do it at all. It's like we know what has to be done, but we're saying, you know, like rolling our eyes on our head and saying, well, screw that. I'm really not in the mood to confront this or do it right now. Or I'm just not going to say that I'm already confronting it or I'm already doing it. I'm not going to communicate it, but where's the integrity in that? Because we have to be, if we are honorable, we must be honorable to ourselves. First and foremost, if we are going to be obedient, we must be obedient to ourselves. If we know there's something that we need to transform, whether it's in our lives or our partnerships or our relationships, let's say, because this is in our linked with children, maybe there's something we need to transform with our children or some kind of problem that we're having with our children, or it's a romantic pursuit. Is there something I'm not saying to my partner that really needs to be said or done or transformed? What they're saying to us, I believe, basically is take a different viewpoint and don't back away from ourselves, right? If there's something in our lives that we want or we feels right, and as long as we're not doing something silly like throwing good money after bad or just making this pie in the sky plan and thinking it's going to implement and it is dependent on someone else doing it, you know, with us, partnerships, however, because they were saying about this Two of Wands here in the beginning, you know, that could be business too. You know, do I got 2 or 3 partners that are coming into a business affair with me, and I think they're going to come, but at the last minute somebody backs out and I'm stuck holding the bag. These are things where we need clarity of thought, you know, so don't move too quickly, guys. You know, we don't want to move too quickly. We want to stay in that integrity and communicate clearly, because our next card is the Two of Swords, and that's a decision. And if you notice, we have the swords up crossed in front of our chest, and I know swords are air, thoughts, you know, they are the thoughts and speaking and communication and stuff like that, you know, in our lives, but we have blindfolds on. And that reminds me of the only way I've ever thought about, let's say, boyfriend, girlfriend, and they're really like hating on each other, but everybody else thinks they're okay because they're holding hands while they're walking down the street. And so for all intents and purposes, the situation, business partnership, relationship, however this is playing out, because we're all individuals, maybe relationship with my kid. I talk, you know, to everybody and say, oh, we just get along so fine, everything perfect, perfect, perfect. And in the background, you know, my kid is like swearing at me, doesn't pay attention to a damn word I say, like that, you know. These because there's so many of us, and this is a general reading. But in this time, this Swords is reversed. So it's showing me that, and from what they're saying, I've not communicated, or I have communicated what my choice is appropriately and clearly. And obviously whatever's going on here, someone's not listening or hearing it because this is in reverse. So I always think of this blindfold in this Two of Swords as like rip off the Band-Aid. All of us Tauruses has got to rip that Band-Aid off of our eyes. And sometimes when we're ripping the Band-Aid off, the eyebrows are gone and Obviously, we can lose a few mustache hairs in the middle of there. But it feels as if while we are trying to communicate, someone else is in total denial and not hearing a word or listening to a word of what we're saying. Maybe they're not listening because they're not ready to make the choices or decisions that have to be made either. Or maybe they're just not listening because maybe I said it too many times. Sometimes we say things over and over again and we don't back it up. That's kind of that obedience to ourselves. So with these dreams on the table, with this creative ability and this ability to bring true joy into our life by communication and standing in our integrity, I think I'd want to go for it and make sure that everyone that's around me, I'm not going to risk anything on a stupid, unsound choice. I'm not going to depend on others. I'm going to know what the heck's going on. I'm not going to move too quickly. And they're saying, and don't invite the trouble. Just don't invite it into my life because I don't have to really deal with it. That's kind of like self-preservation, protecting myself. So, Taurus, they said, be obedient to what Spirit is telling me inside. Be creative. We do have some ideas on the table that are exciting us. It can be simple ideas, I got a hole where I knocked a chair over it on my kitchen wall. Do you think I'm out there fixing it? It could be all it takes is a dot of red paint and some plaster, but, maybe I could communicate that very clearly with my husband. He'd run over there and do it for me. Do you think? I don't. He doesn't like painting, so it ain't working. It can be simple things, What? I don't know what. I want a new car. No, I guess that's not really simple. But let's see what the angels have to say to bring this together, because it looks like it's going to be pretty interesting. So I guess if I can't get this communication across, I think I'm going to, maybe find a new outlet for my self-expression somewhere, or be able to take a different viewpoint of the whole entire thing. Find the outlet, Taurus. This is working for me. I don't know what's going on in each one of our individual lives, but seeing what I'm seeing here, and they're making me laugh because the angel card is reward yourself. So, Taurus, what do we want to reward ourselves with? We got the 7 of Cups here. Put it in that cup and cover it up, and then surprise yourself when you whip it off. This is really a pretty little card. And it's a child too. They said this can do about children too. It says, reward yourself. You've been giving a lot of yourself lately, and it's time for you to receive. Make the time to reward yourself in a meaningful way. This balance of giving and receiving is essential to keeping your energy, mood, and motivation at a consistently high level. And that's real important, because our motivation when we are creating something, it's really important, especially if it's something that we want for ourselves. And if the other party isn't hearing our communication, or we're not communicating clearly, how's anybody get on the same, page with us? Let's see what the alternative meanings are here for it here. It says, you drew this card because it's time to reward yourself for all of your hard work. Everyone needs rewards, and you're no exception. A treat will boost your energy, your mood, and your motivation. Invest in yourself and make time for self-care today. Give yourself the much desired item, trip, or service. And notice how your inner child blooms with joy and this loving attention. Remember what they said about being obedient to ourselves? And I believe that, Taurus. I believe that there's something that we want this month that's important to us, or a decision that we're making that's important to us. So when we pull off that little cover over top of our Seven of Cups there, let's make sure it's what we want in it. Your additional meanings are: take the day off from work today, splurge on a treat yourself, balance giving with receiving, and make sure you're allowing yourself to receive and appreciate all that you have done. And that was pretty clearly what this reading is about. It's about appreciating all that you have done and facing the choices and decisions that you have to make, and making sure that they're clearly communicated to ourselves first and to others also, because we pretty much have this down, Taurus. We pretty much have it down. It's to others because we've spoken it, if we have spoken it, to do the heads up, right? Okay, Taurus, thank you very much for all the time you've spent with me, and all your likes and your shares and your subscribes and your comments. I love them. And if you just want to know more about me, just go over to Spirit's Healing. It's down at Healing Readings. It's down the bottom of here somewhere. And all the information about me is there. Or if you want to make an appointment with me, all of the information is at the website that you need to make an appointment with me. And for all of you that have made appointments with me, it's been really fun meeting you. I've enjoyed each and every one of you. You're a wonderful bunch of people. And hopefully I will see you in October. Okay, guys, bye-bye.